most times as an ordinary citizen, there's nothing you can do because do you have the money to buy lawyers? Do you have the money to fight the government? So it's really a concern for people like us. But however, we will not stop speaking out. Where there are concerns, we will keep speaking out. We will not hide the truth, and we'll always hold those in power accountable.
Hello viewers, this is another edition of What's Trending on Green Growth TV. If it is trending, we bring it to you. Your premium dose of bold stories, heated debates and sharp insights from Nigeria, Africa and beyond. I am Divine Alex, and this week's headlines cut across politics, faith, protests, power struggles and shifting loyalties. Joining me to discuss the trends is a journalist, Emmanuel Clark Onwoka. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Divine. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too. Okay, we begin in Kenya, where heartbreak and fury have taken over the streets. The death of a 31-year-old activist, Omondi Ojwang, in police custody has sparked nationwide protest. He was arrested for allegedly defaming a police chief. Authorities claim he died by suicide, but his family says otherwise, pointing signs of physical trauma. Meanwhile, the demonstrators chanted, "Stop killing us," at the police station where Ojwang was detained. The case has reignited anger over state repression that echoes events from last year's deadly anti-tax protests. Now to you, Emmanuel. What do you make of this particular one? You know, oftentimes we have situations where protests that is supposed to be peaceful, and then people take to the streets with their placards trying to protest peacefully, and then boom, the police is there, different things is happening and all that. What do you make of this situation, especially with the fact that there's a whole lot of controversy surrounding this particular protest in Kenya?
Okay, so it's just unfortunate that we are in a country or a continent where most times you're being genuine, you're being outspoken. It's a problem. The issue of Ojwang, it's really a flashpoint. You know, the chorus of "Stop killing us," it really sends a signals of a fractured trust in security institutions. I remember in 2023, in the same Kenya, where I think the name of that protest was something Mopa, something Pama, where police shot into the crowd. So it's really a concern for us because most times as an ordinary citizen, there's nothing you can do because do you have the money to buy lawyers? Do you have the money to fight the government? So it's really a concern for people like us. But however, we will not stop speaking out. Where there are concerns, we will keep speaking out. We will not hide the truth, and we'll always hold those in power accountable.
Thank you for that one. But Kenya isn't the only place where protests are shaking power structures. Now, let's head over to the US. A rumor lit the march in Los Angeles. A supposed anti-immigration raid led to riots, burned cars and blocked highways in a dramatic move. President Trump bypassed California's governor to deploy the National Guard, sparking a heated federal-state standoff. LA is now the epicenter of the battle, not just about immigration, but about power and precedent. What do you make of the situation in US?
For me, I think this is more than an immigration story. It's between the federal and the state power and the political theater of fear. You know, ever since Donald Trump came into power, it's been from one executive order to the other. Started with funding for various countries and so on. So I just see this as not just an immigration story. It's a battle between the federal and the state power and the political theater of fear in the United States.
Okay, speaking about power, there has been a lot of controversy surrounding Trump recently, especially that relating to his fallout with his acclaimed of it, social media portrayed best friend Elon Musk over the whole battle, yes, behind the new tax reform bill that he introduced, right? Now, there has been a lot of controversy between Trump and Elon Musk. What do you make of this? Because there is a video of him saying, oh, he got angry because he already knows I'm not going to do this or do that. And he got angry. He just, went crazy and did this or did that. And Elon, on the other hand, is on his app, that is X, formerly Twitter, tweeting non-stop, back to back, and people are really not having it. Many people are coming out to say a lot of things. That is international media organizations, like even in Nigeria and other African countries, as well as in the US, are saying, oh, we saw this coming. Some say, oh, both of them are the same people. But what do you really think could be the issue? Do you think that, oh, they are actually the same type of persons, and this is a power of ego and not just about what it's supposed to be for the people of the US? Or do you also think that this is just maybe because he has the power to push around things, that this is just him getting back at Elon for maybe having fallout from their initial friendship? What do you make of the situation surrounding or around Trump and Elon Musk?
Okay, so before the fallout, I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and I told him, I don't see this relationship between Elon Musk and Trump lasting above the middle of 2025. And I'm not surprised that both of them are at loggerheads now. You see, Elon Musk, on the other hand, is saying, I was not aware of the tax, whatever. And Trump is saying, of course you are aware. So the thing about the both of them is, of course, they are always very controversial. But I can put it to you that by the end of this year, you will be surprised that both of them would continue being friends and continue the way they. I still remember early this year there was a policy that was made by the U.S. government. Elon Musk was part of that policy. So I believe he's already an insider. So it will be so hard to kick him away. Maybe it's just a little misunderstanding between them. I'm very sure at some point in the year, they will make up all their differences. That's what I feel.
Okay. And while the U.S. battles its own crisis of control, East Africa is dealing with its version of censorship and state overreach. Now, this takes us to Tanzania, where the government has blocked access to X, formerly Twitter, citing the spread of pornographic content. Critics argue it's a strategic attempt to silence dissent online, raising questions about freedom of expression in an increasingly digital Africa. What do you make of this? This is not the first time we've heard stories of countries either, blocking maybe TikTok or X or taking away things, and this kind of stories keep coming up. What do you think we need to do? How do you think that we as citizens can, depending on, it must not be citizens from either Tanzania or Nigeria or US especially, but we as citizens, human beings generally, what do you think we should do, or how do you think we can go about this to stop the government from putting a ban or blockage from this apps that we enjoy using on an individual level?
Well, this is not the first time the government has tried to undermine free speech and economic activity. It's not the first time it's happening in Tanzania. It's not the first time it's happening in other countries across Africa. But you see, this would revive fear among online freedom in Africa. I don't know why it becomes a problem where a citizen is trying to voice out, a citizen is trying to raise concerns about something they don't like. So for me, I think this is a little more than a pretext to silence critics and control the narrative. They want to control what we say, how we say it, and where we say it. But like I mentioned earlier, we will not stop speaking. We will not stop holding the government accountable where necessary. And if we see the truth, we will definitely say the truth. We are not holding back. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, back home in Nigeria, freedom of information is also under pressure. But this time, it's about truth, miscommunication, and rising insecurity. Now, this takes us to Senator Ali Ndume, who recently raised alarm over an alleged terrorist attack involving former Army Chief Tokar Brutai in Borno State. But the presidency fired back, calling it fake news. Brutai himself confirmed he was in Abuja celebrating Eid. Now, Ndume now says he never claimed Brutai was attacked, stating clearly that it was only his town. Yet, the tension reveals a deeper concern: Nigeria's worsening security situation, especially in the north. What do you make of this particular situation? Do you think that the government is not doing enough as regards to the security concerns raised by citizens, individuals, on a daily basis? Because this is not the first time that we've heard stories about terrorist attack.
Okay, so for me, in just one sentence, I just feel these episodes highlight how Nigeria's information environment is. It's an environment where we fuel panic unless it is checked. So it does the political quagmire that happens almost every day. I really do not want to say much about this particular incident, but for whatever case it is, I believe that in Nigeria, we are always, the public's hunger for news is always on the rise. We always hunger for news about insecurity and so many other things. So I feel whatever this is between Ndume and the special advisor Bayo Onuaga, they would know how to sort it. I don't want to be a part of this conversation for now. Thank you.
Oh, okay. And as that swirl around leadership and insecurity, even loyalties in Nigerian politics are being tested. Ndume didn't stop at clarifying the terror claim. He also questioned President Tinubu's chances in 2027, comparing him to Goodluck Jonathan, who lost despite wide support. The senator's warning echoes growing unease within the ruling APC.
Jonathan had 22 governors then, endorsing him like we did now. And what happened? Jonathan lost woefully. And even that time, what happened? A lot of money was spent, over 2 billion or whatever. And then even the election was sifted. But we are not learning our lesson. And I pity Mr. President for this kind of a thing. Even though he came out one time that this is not time for campaign, we should not be campaigning. But you have already seen the problem now. You go out there and say you are endorsing Mr. President. And when the rumors came out that, the National Assembly members also and this thing are going to be given automatic ticket, the party came out to say, we are not giving them automatic ticket. So who is going to be the foot soldier?
And while some question the president's prospects, others are surprisingly warming up to him. Now, this takes us to the next story, right? Segun Shongmi, once a fierce critic of Tinubu and former spokesman for Atiku Abubakar, says he is willing to work under Tinubu, even vowing to resign from the PDP if offered the role. And then his visit to Tinubu during Eid sparked reactions online, further blurring the lines of party loyalty. As a result of this, an old video of him criticizing the APC during a televised program resurfaces. Let's take a look.
I find it extremely offensive on behalf of those of them who have been standing with the APC, standing with this party for so long, that suddenly a turncoat Boala is now the one that is getting pictures in the villa, getting pictures in front. Where is Ayo Yalowo, who crosses sword with me all the time? Where is Joe Igbokwe, who crosses sword with me all the time? Where is Al-Hawan? Al-Hassan, who crosses sword with me. These are men who have been just like me in PDP. And suddenly, it's Boala now that is eating breakfast in the villa. It's Boala that is eating breakfast in Paris. And you expect people to believe that you know what you're doing.
I would really like to get your take on this particular one, Emmanuel, because we have been caught in a space where we talk about party loyalty. You see people switching parties, you see defections and other things. People who are there in the forefront saying a lot of things. PDP is not doing well, PDP should step down, or PDP governor should just close down, or the president should come down, and then boom, you're seeing them switching parties like in a twinkle of an eye. Or people that say, APC is not doing so well, APC has failed, APC is this and that, or Tinubu this, Tinubu that, and then boom, you're seeing them switch up sides. And They are now in the APC. What do you make of this particular thing?
Okay, so for me, I see Ndume's message as reflecting genuine anxiety about Tinubu's popularity. You know, by likening Tinubu to Jonathan, that's, for me, that's a potent narrative that an incumbent, can't take support for granted. So it illustrates ongoing tension in Nigeria's ruling coalition. It's not a new thing. It's what has been happening. And for me, I just feel it's just a genuine anxiety about Tinubu's popularity. That's just all I have to say about that.
Okay. Now, still talking loyalties and legacies. One name we can't ignore in Nigeria's political past is Abacha. And now his widow is speaking out. Mariam Abacha has defended her late husband, General Sani Abacha, against decades of looting allegations. In a Rare TV interview, she claimed the money her husband kept for Nigeria vanished after his death in 1998, hinting at mismanagement by subsequent governments, and at the same time praised her husband to be the greatest for having still been relevant and trending after 27 whole years. Let's take a look at what she had to say.
I'm not here to talk about Babangida or anybody. I don't wish to talk about anything or anybody. All I know is that that annulment was not done by my husband. And then if it was him, then that means he was very powerful. He was even more powerful than the president. And if the president is there and somebody else is calling the shots, then that means Abacha was the greatest.
Okay, I don't know if you heard what she said. She said, oh, Abacha must really be the greatest. How did you say that my husband annulled the June 12 election and all that? How is he even still relevant after 27 whole years that he died, and then boom, everybody's still calling Abacha. Abacha did this, Abacha did that, Abacha is everywhere. And then she proceeded with saying, oh, Abacha must really be the greatest. Maybe we are missing him, and a whole lot of other things she said. At the same time, she also said, oh, look, did you see any signature from anywhere? Did you see his name or his imprint in anywhere? As they are still dragging Abacha over the popularly, in quotes, Abacha loot. While Abacha's widow looks to the past, a former first lady is embracing the future with a PhD. That takes us to Dr. Patience Jonathan, who is now officially a PhD holder in psychology, guidance, and counseling. At a Thanksgiving service, she described the 3-year academic journey as one of the toughest in her life and encouraged Nigerians to embrace education no matter their age. In her words, if you are 100 or 10, you can do it. If I can do it. Let's take a look.
May God give you glory. That thing that seems impossible, God make it possible. And I graduated. Was my graduation. I give God the glory. I give Papa the glory. I say, God, thank you. If patients can make it, you, the younger ones, you can make it.
From academic achievement to questionable spirituality, Nigeria remains a country of contrast. A viral moment came from Prophet Jeremiah Fufeyin, who unveiled a miracle nightwear said to cure male infertility. Adorned with his face, the nightgown is to be worn during intimacy. The video sparked a flurry of reactions from mockery to moral concern. Before we go deeper into what the social media has turned into concerning this, because we had critics like VDM and other persons react to this particular video, let's take a look at the video.
We'll put on this thing at the night hours. Your husband that doctor said has a low sperm count. Let us see whether the low sperm count is still there.
If you talk now, don't say touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm. And you cannot talk in the things of spirituality. What is spiritual about what just happened now? My brothers and sisters, you tell me. This is why we always continue to talk. Not for any reason. It is liberation of the minds. These are the kind of people that we tell the youth that, oh, come and take this. You know how many items this guy don't sell? This guy don't sell bolo for people. He don't sell key where you get from God. The key fall from heaven. He don't sell cheetah. He don't sell lion. He don't sell fish. He don't sell water. Where the for one place where call pool of Basada water. And we get government where they work. This no be scam. This no be fraud. It's not fraud. When I tell you, say all these people with the government, everybody, all of them, they're inside this thing. I go to say I don't know it's how they talk. All this one now to condition the mind of people. We are stay. Instead of you to fight the government and ask the government, say, come. What are we paying tax for? We are the basic amenities that are supposed to be in the country. We don't have lights. I see one community which they said they celebrate 60 years, they don't get lights. We don't have lights, we don't have good roads. Request this thing from your government. It is yours. They will condition the minds of the people and tell them to pray. What the government will do, they will tell you pray. Somebody is chasing you from your village. Come, I want to do spiritual healing for you and spiritual cleansing. Open your tongue. Buy this, buy that. They'll use it to enrich themselves. That's what they do. You talk now, they'll say, oh, very dark man is attacking pastors. Very dark man is an agent against Christianity. I'm not an agent against Christianity. If I was an agent against Christianity, God knows what he would don't do to me. Because you know if he stop the work of the Lord.
But let's move from controversy to culture, where Nigeria is taking serious steps to preserve its identity. In Ogun State, the Ojude Oba festival wrapped up with a big win for the creative industry. The state government signed an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, with the Federal Ministry of Arts and Culture for the renewed Hope Cultural Project, aimed at promoting tourism and preserving Nigerian heritage. A cultural celebration now tied to national economic planning. Let's take a look.
We seen through the prism of being the center of attraction for tourists. We want to use culture as a platform to project our state even further. So I think we could not have come to a better place. We could not have found a better state to partner with and sign an MOU with. And I don't think that or rather, I'd like to think that there's no better time to be the Minister of Arts, Culture and Creative Economy than now, because you have a very deliberate and supportive President Omondi Tinubu. So we look forward to a mutually beneficial business relationship between the state government and the federal government of Nigeria through the Minister or Ministry of Culture, Tourism and Creative Economy.
Now let's zoom into another hot cultural conversation. This one lit up the media houses, the internet, and a lot of reactions swung in. This takes us to the story of Pastor Paul Adefarasin's sermon that stirred a storm online. Critics accused him of blurring church and politics. This comes after a content creator who says he films exotic cars had filmed his car at a traffic stop, and the video clearly shows him holding something that allegedly looks like a gun. Let's take a look at the viral video. Next, the clip from his pulpit denying the allegations and a few reactions from netizens.
The accused, what we have had to witness was clickbaiters just looking for more money. I probably wasn't even their target. Their target was to make more money. And I was falsely accused of bearing a firearm, pointing a firearm at an aggressive content creator who came within personal distance. The only thing separating me and him was about maybe 3/4 of a meter and glass. I do not have a pistol license for a firearm. I do not carry a firearm, and I pointed no firearm at anybody. Amen.
Meanwhile, the Lagos State Governor, Sanwo-Olu, received praise for visiting Tinubu to mend political tensions. A viral video of him also surfaces showing a gesture you can call mature politics. Let's take a look at this particular video.
Well, nothing much. It's our usual, festive period courtesy visit and a time for Mr. President to meet with his brothers, leaders of our party, the Governor's Advisory Council, GAC of Lagos State. It's something that they're always looking forward to, almost at every festive season or every time it comes around. And this is no exception. We all came around to felicitate with him, to pray with him, to wish him well, to say to him that Lagosians and everyone is happy with him, that we can feel, we can see the impacts of what he has done in the last 2 years. And so to wish him well and to continue to say that he has our best wishes at all times, support. Well, I mean, nothing beyond the fact that he was very happy to see us, extremely very happy to see us. He was very excited that we are one big happy family, and we are not divided in any form, and we all honestly also pledge our full loyalty to him, to his government, to as our leader, as our father, you know, and it was unanimous.
As Nigeria navigates pulpit politics, Uganda is making moves with far bigger global implications. Uganda says it's captured 2 towns in eastern DR Congo to stop inter-ethnic violence, but analysts believe the motives run deeper, to include the mineral interest and military influence, with Chinese and French oil firms involved. Questions grow over Uganda's real agenda in the region. And speaking of strategy, Uganda's latest economic decision may redefine Africa's trade narrative. This takes us to the next story, where the president of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, has banned all raw material exports, a move decade in the making. Long exploited by the global market, the country wants to keep value within and develop its local industry. This is a bold step and a bold shift towards economic sovereignty. Let's take a look at what the president had to say.
And Uganda is developing, and it will develop, because I don't entertain that nonsense anymore. I banned the export of minerals from Uganda.
From street protests to spiritual nightwear, military power grabs to cultural partnerships, one thing remains constant. The need for sustainable development is rooted in equity and accountability. When states repress, the economies suffer. When local industries grow, similar to Uganda's raw material push or Nigeria's Ogun State cultural project, communities thrive. But unchecked power, whether political or religious, threatens stability and undermines progress. The environmental protection, economic inclusion, and cultural preservation must go hand in hand, for sustainability isn't just about the planet, it's about the people, power, and purpose. That's it for this fire-packed edition of What's Trending on Green Growth TV. From Kenya's protest to Uganda's bold reforms, the world is shifting, and we are here to break it down for you. I am Divine Alex. Be sure to like, comment, share, and follow. Remember, it is not just about what's trending, it's also about what it means for all of us. Till next time, stay bold, stay informed. Bye for now.